All right, here we go. Back at it again on Horse Race Bets, getting you going for the two biggest races of the weekend, right? We're going to go to Parks. Good for them. Bensalem, Pennsylvania, getting the spotlight, and we'll see if the horses respond to the challenge. Two races, both grade ones, both worth $1 million. We'll start ladies first. It's the Cotillion for 3-year-old fillies. And this is interesting because hopefully it's a chance for one of our better 3-year-old fillies to kind of get back on track. You see your field here. Scottish Lassie to the inside, La Cara, Speed and Speed. Clico, Indy Bay, Not Too Late, Our Daydreaming Girl, Good Cheer, there she is. And then the kind of the wild card horse to the outside, Dry Powder. It keeps my powder dry, keeps my powder dry. All right, let's take a look at what's happening with La Cara. Because La Cara is definitely the speed of the field in here. And now turning back in distance after going 1.25 miles in the grade 1 Alabama, where she had the lead, but she had some pressure. So she will definitely try to break for the lead because that's what she does best. You can go back and look at some of her performances as a 2-year-old and see that she has the ability to rate, but she appears to be much more effective when she's out there on the front end. So we know where she's going to be. Will she have company? You'd better believe it. Scottish Lassie is the other runner that most likely wants to be forwardly placed. What they did last time out in the Coaching Club America was really fantastic going to the front. It was a small field, but they took advantage of that and showed they have some speed and some versatility. I would expect them to be out there on the front end again because you can't let a runner like La Cara just kind of lope around there by herself on the front end. She'll be really tough to catch and pass if you allow her to do that. Another runner that I'm calling a wild card, even though they scored from off the pace last time out, I think Dry Powder is probably a bit more effective in that first flight. I don't think she's going to run anyone down from pretty far back. So she'll have to be in that first flight of horses. She doesn't want to be on the lead, but she'll be in a pressing position, which will keep La Cara and Scottish Lassie honest on the front end. They won't be able to just kind of dilly-dally around there and mess around. And the thing about this is, I really feel like in order for the filly that everybody really wants to see kind of come back into form, in order for Good Cheer to come back into form, she'll need a target and she needs to settle. And I think she'll be able to do that because with those other runners out there on the front end, she'll be able to do what it is that she does best. Good Cheer. What she does best is sit, pounce, and then explode. Just gets away from everybody. So I think this is finally, and she's 5-2 on the morning line. I think she'll be bet heavily because I think a lot of people are expecting her to do what I'm expecting her to do. First off, I'm expecting her to come back like she was before. Maybe she got tired. She obviously, doesn't usually have a problem with a sloppy or a wet track, but she didn't like that sloppy track at Saratoga. So Brad Cox did a nice thing, gave her a couple months off, let her chill out, and she came back. More suitable track conditions there in the Alabama, but she may have needed that as her first time back off of a couple of months of freshening. So now, second off of the layoff, I think she's going to be in the perfect spot. She should have the fitness and everything required to push right on through. Hey, and if she doesn't, then maybe that's a sign that maybe she's done, right? If she can't come back and win this race, then maybe she's done, and that's okay too, right? But I think I'm gonna take the chance that she's ready to come back, and we'll see what kind of price we get. She'll be the favorite, though. There's no doubt about that. That is race 13. That's the Cotillion Stakes. Then we move on to race number 14, Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. This one is very interesting because you have a lot of potential in these horses, but if I look at the majority of the field, many of the runners in here they haven't convinced me that they want to win races, okay? So let's take a look at what's happening with our field, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. Take a look at your field here, and you've got horses. Obviously, we've seen these runners before. Magnitude has speed. Moplex has speed. Big Trues, I don't know what that runner wants to do on the stretch out, but we'll see. Then you have Goal Oriented, who's got the ability to sit and has some early speed. Baeza, who, anyway. And then Gosker. Those are the runners that kind of make sense. So Sandy to the inside might try to do something, but I don't know if they're going to figure when you get into the real running in the stretch. All right, so now you see it's race number 14. And let's start talking about our pace, right? Our pace is Magnitude and Moplex, but I think Magnitude is the quicker of the two and a runner that is kind of a need the lead type. If they don't break on top, they have no shot to win the race. So they absolutely have to break on top, and I believe Ben Curtis will do just that. So now we know we have a horse that wants to lead and a rider that's going to be assertive, right? And we know Moplex will do the same thing from the outside spot. So we need more than two horses really to legitimately look for a speed duel. That's where So Sandy comes in. I think this inside runner with Kendrick Carmouche, I don't know if they're quicker than Magnitude and Moplex, but I believe they want to be forwardly placed. So you'll find this runner right there, probably in the second flight, but that's enough to keep things moving. And that's what we're talking about, keeping it moving. And then you have now some of your top horses, I guess, and I'm not quite sure where they figure. Goal-oriented for Bob Baffert. We know this horse has some easy early speed, but I'm not quite sure if they're good enough to run from off the pace, which is most likely where they're going to be coming up on Saturday. They tried in the Haskell, and it wasn't bad. So I feel like that's probably what they're going to try to do again, is sit off of the pace and then make that move. So I think the horse figures. I'm just not going to play goal-oriented, but I think the horse figures, and they may be a pace factor. Then there's this horse. Oh, for crying out loud. Beza, whatever you want to call this horse, whatever. You know what I don't call him? I don't call him a winner. And he's another one of those horses that I can't mess with you. And in recent years, there have been horses like this, Hot Rod Charlie. I was like, man, come on, get out of here. Even, I can't even remember the name of the horse that was given the Kentucky Derby victory after the disqualification. Wow. I don't know. It was that horse I don't remember the name of the horse. Gosh, I can't think of it right now. But he's not a horse that wants to win races. That's why I can't remember his name. When you don't win races, we don't remember you. Baeza is that horse. And I think John Sheriff's is outstanding conditioner. But for whatever reason, this horse just doesn't seem like he wants to win the race. And that's why I can't mess with him. And I'm not even sure why he's 2-1. But I guess somebody has to run second and third in the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont and the Jim Dandy and the Santa Anita Derby. Someone's got to run second and third in those races. So I guess Baeza figures because of that. But I just don't. I don't really like the horse. I think I've made that painfully clear. And every time the horse comes up in a conversation, I'm like, nah, I don't want that horse. And if the horse does win, you got to give me better than 2-1 on a horse that can't win races. Like, that's kind of my whole problem with that. But what that means is that horse will get bet, right? And as a bettor, instead of being frustrated by that, you say, okay, that means I have value elsewhere. If there's a horse that you don't like that you believe is going to be overbet, that's good news if you like someone else, and I do. Gosker is who I'm going to take. I believe this horse, first off, I think he likes to win. I think he's better suited to make the move from off the pace. I like that he's had, like a month and a half or so, maybe even more than that, almost 2 months off. And I think that that's going to be important. The horse has shown that he runs very well when he's fresh. You see the great series of workouts, and he'll have something to run at. And I love Luis Saez. And at this stage, I think because you've got the presence of horses that will take money, Baeza will take money, goal-oriented will take money, Magnitude will take money. That means Gosker's 9-2. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We will take that all day long and twice on Sunday. That's the thing that we're looking for. And so we think we'll get the right pace scenario. We think we have the right horse who's got the right running style, talent level, fitness, all that stuff. We think it's perfect. So that's what we do coming up on Saturday with the Grade 1 Cotillion and the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. All right, that's how we do it here on Horse Race Bets. In the meantime, in between time, until next time, we'll see you here. And until then, I'm Ken Rudulph. Good luck and enjoy whatever you're into.